All right, back to our top story. The federal government filing hate crime charges against the man accused of carrying out yesterday's terror attack in Boulder, Colorado. Let's bring in Jonathan Turley now, constitutional law professor and a Fox News contributor. All of us are just sick to our stomachs over this horrendous attack, Jonathan, and now we're learning brand new details. As you just heard with the White House press secretary on moments ago, they found 14 unlit Molotov cocktails at his side in his car when they were making the arrest. This is a man with full intentions to do what he did, and in fact, when confessing to this, said he would do it again. Your reaction to the charges?
Well, it's so hard to be shocked today when you see all the things happening around us, but the utter depravity of this individual, the lack of humanity, just continues to shock the conscience of the nation, and certainly should be shocking to anyone, regardless of how you feel about the conflict in the Middle East. And this is a classic terrorism case. What the evidence shows is that there was preparation, rather deadly preparation, his intention to target people over their religion, and clearly an effort to terrorize this community. So this is a lead pipe cinch of a case for terrorism. The bringing of initial charges are often placeholders for the federal government to say that they have an outstanding charge against an individual. There's often tension, or at least some coordination, between the federal government and state governments in crimes like this. There may be, frankly, less deference with regard to Boulder because it has a rather liberal record in terms of enforcement. But they have to work out together who will proceed first.
I mean, just the fact that we're seeing this happen in a moment where you and I have had many discussions about the anti-Semitism that is happening on college campuses all over this country. This came up in that debate with Fetterman and McCormick. This was earlier today on Fox Nation. It was a debate on anti-Semitism on our college campuses, Jonathan, and I want to get your reaction out of this.
This is just rampant across all the universities, for all these places too. I mean, we really need to call it what it is. Building tent cities on a campus and terrorizing and intimidating Jewish students, that's not free speech. And now we've lost the argument in parts of my party.
I actually went to University of Pennsylvania, saw these demonstrations, and this wasn't free speech. This was intimidation, in some cases physical violence.
I mean, how can we expect to prevent attacks like this in the future if we're still allowing this to happen on our college campuses, Jonathan?
Well, I commend Senator Fetterman for his stance. It's a courageous stance. He's now been targeted by the left and has all these attack articles appearing in the media. It's all part of a familiar pattern for some of us who have been dissenters in higher education. The fact is that a lot of this extremism is coming out of higher education, and many of these administrators have ignored complaints for years. We can focus on conduct rather than the content of messages. Much of what is occurring on campuses, exactly as Senator Fetterman said, is conduct. It's illegal. These are crimes. And only recently universities began to focus on that. I have concerns about free speech, and I've criticized the Trump administration on some of its actions. But there's so much more that we could have done and can still do to protect our students and universities, but also to interrupt this cycle of radicalism that is coming out of some of the sectors of higher education.
You know, your piece, Marco Rubio declares war on the global censors. It struck me how you ended and landed that piece. Jonathan, this was the ending. Rubio's doing just that, getting serious about the threat to free speech, finally imposing, you say, real consequences for censorship. We are not going to defeat censors by yelling at them. Speech alone clearly does not impress them. What was your message here, Jonathan?
Well, this has been overlooked by many in the media, but Secretary Rubio said that he would deny entry to some of these people who have been taking their censorship programs global, particularly in Europe, where the EU is threatening companies like X that they need to resume censorship of American citizens, even threatening Musk for interviewing Trump before the election. And this is all part of the Digital Services Act, and figures like Hillary Clinton, after after Musk bought Twitter, called on the EU to use the Digital Services Act to force the resumption of censorship of American citizens. And Rubio is finally saying enough. And he's saying, I'm going to start to deny entry in the United States. And it's an incredibly important moment. And, you know, Franklin Delano Roosevelt said once, you don't tame a lion by petting it. And we've been petting, or a tiger in his quote, we've been petting this tiger for years. And finally, Rubio is saying, enough. We're going to fight for free speech.
Always appreciate when you can join us. Jonathan Turley on all of that for us. Thank you, sir. All right.